It was a cold and stormy night when Sarah found herself alone in her family's old cabin deep in the woods. The wind howled through the trees, and the rain beat against the windows like 1,000 tiny hammers. The fire in the hearth flickered and cast eerie shadows across the room. Sarah had always loved the cabin, with its rustic charm and sense of isolation, but tonight it felt different, ominous. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Trying to calm her nerves, she sat by the fire with a cup of tea and a book, but her eyes kept darting to the dark corners of the room. The old grandfather clock in the corner chimed midnight, its deep, resonant sound echoing through the cabin. As the last chime faded, there was a sudden, loud knock on the door. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. Who could be out here at this hour, in such a storm? She hesitated and slowly walked to the door. The knock came again, more urgent this time. With a trembling hand, she turned the handle and opened the door just a crack. A gust of wind blew rain into her face. There was no one there. "Hello?" she called into the darkness. There was no response. She closed the door and bolted it, her unease growing. As she turned back to the room, she heard a whispering sound, faint and indistinct. She couldn't make out any words, but it seemed to be coming from the direction of the fireplace. Sarah approached the hearth, peering into the dancing flames. The whispering grew louder, more insistent, until she could finally understand the words.
"Come with us."
She recoiled, her heart pounding in her chest. She backed away from the fireplace, only to trip over the rug and fall to the floor. The whispers turned into laughter, cruel and mocking. Desperate to escape, Sarah scrambled to her feet and ran to the door. She fumbled with the lock, but the door wouldn't budge. It felt as though an unseen force was holding it shut. Panic set in as she heard footsteps behind her, slow and deliberate. She turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows, its eyes glowing with an unnatural light. The whispers grew deafening, filling her mind with a cacophony of voices.
"Come with us. Join us."
The figure reached out a skeletal hand, and Sarah felt a cold, icy grip on her soul. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. Her vision blurred and darkness closed in around her. The next morning, the storm had passed, and the sun shone brightly over the woods. But the cabin stood silent and empty. Sarah was gone, her fate a mystery, but the whispers lingered, waiting for the next soul to claim.